Unit 1478 was Botham Jean's apartment. It's where the 26-year-old's young life was cut short when he was shot by a police officer in his living room. A small memorial of flowers and a photo with his mother adorn his front door.
At 26 years old, he had done so much.
With permission from the family, we are getting a look inside Botham's apartment. It's a typical single man's apartment except for the bullet hole in the wall indicated by an evidence marking more than 6 feet high. There's also a pool of blood on the floor, which we will not show you. There's laundry piled on the couch, and Botham's half-eaten bowl of cereal still had milk in it. He may have been reading one of the many books littering the apartment before he was shot and killed by Officer Amber Geiger. This is video witnesses of Amber Geiger pacing around upset moments after the shooting. Officer Geiger tells investigators she shot John after mistaking his apartment for her own. Geiger tells investigators that after work, she parked her car on the wrong floor, walked to the wrong apartment, and that John's door was slightly open. In her statement to police, Geiger says she gave verbal commands before firing 2 shots. Lee Merritt says witnesses tell a different story.
They both heard a knock or a pounding on the door, followed by a female's voice saying, "Open up, let me in." She said the voice didn't sound like an officer command, but sounded like someone who wanted to be let into the apartment. She said that was shortly followed by the sound of gunshots and the sound of a man's voice saying what she believed to be, "Oh my God, why did you do that?"
The John family's attorney and the family are now upset by the leak of a search warrant that indicates officers went inside John's apartment looking for drugs. Officers say they did find and remove several items, including a small amount of marijuana. The warrant does not indicate who the items belong to. It's unknown if a search warrant was executed at the officer's apartment.
26 years on this earth, he lived his life virtually without blemish. And it took being murdered by a Dallas police officer for Botham Jean to suddenly become a criminal. There is a clear intent here to smear the name of Botham Jean.
During a moving funeral service, we learned much more about John and his accomplishments. Family and friends talked openly about his love of people, for singing, and the fact that he was a high-achieving employee on a partnership track at the accounting firm PwC.
PwC is hurting, not just in Dallas, but all across our country.
He was so joyful, and we know how much he loved to sing. You know, he was the biggest extroverted accountant you'd ever find.
Amber Geiger is on administrative leave during the investigation, and the DA's office will take the case before a grand jury to determine the next course of action. CNN has reached out to the Officer Geiger's attorney, and they have not returned our calls, but a heartbroken mother wants answers.
So I'm calling on the Dallas officials. Please, come clean. Give me justice for my son, because he does not deserve what he got.
Ryan Young, CNN Dallas.